Trenton Worsham here with SoundlinkTV here at the Radio Room with Erin Kinsey. Erin,
Hi.
how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Ready to play.
Yeah, this is the last night of this tour at least. You've been traveling the United States, but then in a couple weeks you're going to Europe. So talk about the American run so far.
It's been so great. I've never been on a headlining tour before, so I really didn't know what to expect. So to see so many people come out and know all the words and make merch and stay for the meet and greet and just really see how my songs are not just mine. They are other people's anthems. It's been so powerful.
So I guess this has exceeded your expectations
absolutely.
as an
I had
upcoming
zero.
artist.
I thought that my parents were going to have to come to every show just so we had anybody there. And that has not been the case. So very thankful.
Which show? I mean, obviously we haven't played tonight, so hopefully Greenville takes the cake. But but so far, what show, I guess, surprised you the most, with whether it be turnout or people knowing the words, somewhere you may not have expected?
I mean, honestly, every show has had its surprises. I mean, we have yet, and this is not going to be the place to do it, but we have yet to have a bad show. It's been so fun, and the audience has been so great every time. But definitely one of the ones that sticks out in my memory is my hometown show. I had never played a headlining show in Dallas, even though I grew up there. So to go, and it was one of the sold out ones. It was packed, and so many family and friends, but then also so many people that I didn't know at all. It was cool to think that there were people driving around the roads that I was driving around that knew my music, and it meant something to them.
That's
so
cool.
I feel like the songs maybe hit just a little bit harder for them. So it was cool to experience all that. They know the roads I'm talking about and the things I'm talking about in those songs.
So you haven't been to Europe yet. This will be your first time in Europe coming up, right?
No, I've been to Europe multiple times.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah.
So I have to ask this because we don't talk to a lot of country singers, so I have to ask this. The genre is kind of seen more as an American, especially in the South kind of genre. So how do the Europeans get down with this stuff? How are they rocking out to, talking about the backwoods of a Texas town and stuff, and they're living in London or France or something?
You know what? They are not. There are so many country towns overseas, so many farms, and we just did a show in Norway, and the day before we went horseback riding through this big farm and all these open fields. So there's a bunch of rednecks out in Europe too. So we're getting to bring them some country music, and they're definitely a little bit of a different audience. I feel like they are not quite as rowdy sometimes.
I've heard that. Yeah,
but they really listen to the words, and I feel like they're hanging on everything you're saying. So it's fun to rock out with everybody, but it's also really fun to get to tell more stories and get to lean into that vibe a little bit. So definitely switching our show around a little bit for that, but also definitely gonna rock out.
It's funny you mentioned the crowd because we talk to a lot of rock bands or metal bands, whatever, and even with them they'll say the crowds there are different, a little bit more mellow, or they don't know what to do, or mosh, so it's kind of interesting. For country music, they're the same ways, even though it's more chilled out. They're they're just kind of polite. Or have you played Germany before?
I have.
Okay, I've heard somebody talk about this before. Have you had the German critique where they come up to you or something and say you were better last time, not as good this time, but you still did good or something?
No.
Apparently
I have not. But honestly, I've only been to Germany once, and we're going back this time.
Maybe
so this would be my chance for them to have something to compare it to. That is hilarious.
Yeah. Apparently there's a German review thing where they just come up to you after a show and I've never toured.
Maybe. I don't know. I've never heard that.
I've heard. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
but at least now I'm a little prepared. If that does happen, I'll be like, oh, I know what this is.
Yeah. So pivoting to your music, you just released a new single, Strangers.
Yes.
And you had an album out last year, with the tour's namesake. And so is this a part of, I guess, a deluxe release, coming up, or is this a standalone
Not a
single?
deluxe. Definitely kind of starting a new journey, a new path, but building off of the last project, I would say. The last, I guess I've released music over the last 4 or 5 years, and I feel like with every song, with every project, I've found my sound and the things that make me unique a little bit more and more. And then a big difference with that last song that's coming out and the songs that are coming out next is we've been on the road a lot, and so that's really influenced my songwriting, and I've been a lot more hands-on in the production and playing a lot of the guitars even on the songs. So it's been cool to see what songs can feel like live and trying to capture that into the recording the first time you hear it.
Yeah.
One of the critiques I've gotten a lot here in America is you're better live, which is great. I love that. I would hate for it to be the other way around. Yeah. But also I've taken that and sat with that and think, well, how do we make the songs more fun they would be live?
Yeah.
So excited to put that into the music, but definitely getting away with it. It was my first time leaning into the rock. I I wouldn't call it Southern rock, but it's like country pop rock. I don't know. But
it's a thing now. You have guys like Hardy out there doing that stuff, and so
So it's cool to like kind of take it one step further.
Yeah, so I guess, you're what, 23 years old, somewhere around there?
24.
24, okay. And so, I assume you grew up, playing guitar in your bedroom or something like that. So, where do you, I guess, find your sound at? Because I'm sure you're listening to maybe Carrie Underwood or Taylor Swift, those artists as a kid. And now you're doing that on your own. And who knows, you could be at that level one day yourself.
That's crazy.
But I guess, trying to find your sound in that way, but also, being in your early 20s. And so, how do you, I guess, navigate that, writing lyrics and stuff?
I think I feel like at 24, which again, I've released music over the last few years too, but right now I feel like I am smart enough and knowledgeable to know what I want to do and dumb enough to do things that we probably shouldn't do.
Okay.
So
we call that punk rock.
Like experimental. Yeah. And not be scared to try something and it not go right, or it turn out better than we thought and run with that. But it's actually, I was talking to somebody else about this today. I feel so free with my music right now. Like, we could write whatever, we could perform whatever, we could release whatever, and maybe it'll connect. And I feel like that's honestly a testament to the music industry as a whole. Like, the audience and then also the industry side of it, everybody's so accepting of what connects. And if your music says something and does something and makes somebody feel something, then it is welcome, regardless of what it sounds like or what it should sound like or what you put out last or what you're putting out next. So it's really exciting.
Before we get into the later stuff you have going on later in the year, something I wanted to ask about is, because the music industry is, you can be like a small fish in a big pond. It's hard to get noticed, especially in Nashville. And so with your career, how did you break into that? How did you get your stuff out there? How did you get your name out there to where you were able to do a headlining tour now?
Yeah, I mean, I still kind of am in some ways, but I think also like through releasing music, ripping the band-aid off of like doing a headlining tour was kind of just realizing like, you don't know what's going to happen. You just got to go for it and kind of see what happens. And it's, again, I had like no expectations. So it's gone way better than I ever could have dreamed. But there's probably some people in Nashville that would think that I'm in no position to be out here doing a headlining tour and would never guess how many people have been at these shows and have like bought merch and know all the words. And then there's some people that can't believe I'm playing at whatever cap room. They think I should be bigger or whatever it is. So I feel like kind of taking away that mindset of like how other people are viewing you and just seeing like people are connecting with the music and they want to hear you, so you should go play. It doesn't have to be too complicated in all the industry games. It all works itself out anyways.
So you're going to Europe. You said you're releasing more songs. So outside of that, what do you have come up for the back half of this year? Going into the fall. Yeah,
I definitely have some plans that are not finalized yet, but for some more shows.
Okay.
And honestly, the new music is kind of the biggest thing after this European tour. We're gone through the end of August, so
nice.
we're gone for a hot second. It's the excited thing for a hot second. But I have so much music I'm just excited about and proud of and can't wait to put out there, and then hopefully we'll get to tour it a little bit before the end of the year.
Awesome. Well, Erin, thank you for your time today.
Of course.
This is Erin Kinsey. I am Trent with SoundlinkTV. Thanks for watching.